Hello, Augies worldwide. I'm Dave Casler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today I've been asked to take a look at something that Chameleon Antennas has put together. It's a book. It's $12, available on their website, and it consists of instructions for many of their antennas and how to put them together. I thought we'd take a look at this. I thought a better way to take a look at this might be to look at the pile of Chameleon equipment I have and see where it's referenced in this particular book. What we have here is a huge pile of things that I have from Chameleon. I've got this little thing here, lots of different kinds of wire. This wire is very sturdy, very strong, and can be used in many of their antenna configurations. There's also a couple of things that you can wind the wire on for ease of use and not having it go haywire on you. This one right here is for dipole kind of affair. It just says Chameleon antenna on it. Here's a piece of coax. These are things that will screw into each other, and here is the stud that you can put into the ground. This is solid. Okay, and we'll go down on the ground. It's kind of heavy. It feels like it might be steel. And these are aluminum and can be screwed into each other. And here's one that just sort of unfolds like a tent pole. Now, let's take a look at this book right here. This is the field guide to the antennas. You can buy this from Chameleon. It's rather inexpensive. It's a full color device. This is the first edition. They'll modify it as they're going to go from there. Now what they have here are all the different antennas that they're talking about, but there's some introductory and some end content that talks about things that you can do with the antennas. Very nicely put together. It's got some information on planning for portable deployment. All their antennas are designed for portable use, and planning with the kit bag and so on. Now all of these, with the exception of just one, we're in a large kit bag, which you see in this photograph right here. This bag carries all the components with plenty of extra room for radio, battery, whatever that you want to do. So let's take a look at the very first of the things here. It's designed to be held up by something, whatever it may be. You can almost lean it against something. We have the mill whip, and it doesn't say which one of these is the mill whip, but you've got two choices, either one's here. It's a broadband man-pack vertical, okay, highly portable, and you take this device right here, hybrid micro mini unit. Now there's a terminator ring here, and this is for a radial, okay. One radial is better than zero. If you can have more radials, that's even better. This will work, it says 80 through 6 meters, although a tuner is required on most bands. So you can screw your coax, which is right here. Okay, this right here you can undo and screw into the spike if you want. Okay, or just lean it against something, and then these pieces up here come out, and then this can screw into the top piece and be hung from something like that. Okay, so this is an example of something that can be used. We've got the components, the transformer, the mill whip, the coax cable, counterpoise wire, and a nut. Okay, the nut is on the bottom of this. Okay, yeah, you can mount it on the spike mount, a jaw mount, universal clamp mount, or the mini carbon fiber tripod. The spike mount is the one that's here. This you pound into the ground. Keep it vertical, because what may seem vertical looking at this thing at a short glance may end up not being very vertical at all. Okay, so be careful to get that vertical. This right here is something you can attach radials to. Okay, so we've got all the pieces for that. Here is the same thing, but with the large vertical right here. And again, the same kind of thing, counterpoise connection there if you want. There is a counterpoise wire. Ground mounted, the length of the counterpoise is not terribly important. It says 160 to 6. I think it'd be a lot easier in like 40 and above. Okay. You want something free of overhead obstructions for the vertical whip, and a reasonably cleared area on the ground around 25 feet for the antenna and the counterpoise. Tells you the different parts to use. Okay, here is the MPAS light. Okay, here with the coax, same type of thing. Okay, again, screwed into the top. All of these are flexible components that you can build a lot of things from. Okay, now here's Impass 2. We have the Impass 2 takes this same unit right here, and note that it's kind of an inverted L kind of configuration here, down, off, over here. Looks good, looks easy to put together. This next one is a tactical delta loop. Here again is the tuning unit, the telescoping whip. The ones that we have here actually screw into each other. There's no telescoping whip, although this right here could be considered one. But you can go up with these and then string a wire between them. Okay, and it gives some examples of how to put it together. Here's another one, the Impass SS70 with the LZ sloper. What we have here is, again, this unit right here, okay, radial coming out here, and a piece of wire from up here with a clip on it. This is not in this particular kit, but you can get this clip or come up with a clip of your own and bring it back down to here. Now, this is a lazy L antenna. Can be used for quite a variety of things like POTA, SOTA, backpacking, camping, and RVing. Okay? Now, here's your basic vertical. Now, this is just a little bit different. This is a blank adapter, and the telescoping whip, the coax, the puck hub, which we don't have, but you see the puck hub can hold some radials out here if you want. Actually, what you can do that I have found works very well is to bring these together into one connector and then just connect that one antenna back there. It's a lot easier to keep track of. The puck hub you can use like banana jacks or screw them in or whatever that you might like. The puck hub doesn't come with this particular group of material. Now here's a basic vertical. Okay, this contains a blank adapter, which we don't have here, but also a medium loading coil with a jumper on it that can be used for certain bands. But a lot of the wire is available, plus the spike mount. Spike mount is used for a lot of things. Okay, here's a basic vertical with a blank adapter, telescoping whip. Okay, now if you do get a telescoping whip, they are available. You can lengthen that. The full length of the telescoping whip is 17 or 18 feet, which is fine for 20 meters, but a little bit too short for 40, but you can do 20. And then you can just shorten it for the different bands that you do above that. Okay, here's another basic vertical with a medium loading coil. Okay, 40 and 30, and with a jumper and adjust the whip. The jumper just short circuits this, so you can leave it out. Another basic vertical that you can put in. This takes a slightly different type of coil. The MCC is a coil, and you can use, this is actually a collapsible whip antenna. By the way, they point out that when you shorten these, to shorten it from the bottom first, so you don't have this thing falling inside of it. Okay, here's a mill whip, same type of thing right here. Okay, with radials out there, and that will do a good job. This coil shortens it a little bit, or you can go directly into the mounting hub right there. Another version of the same type of thing. You see how many different antennas that you can make. Now, here is an example of what you can do with some of these longer wires. When you buy parts and kits from Chameleon, you may want to start with some of these long wires. These are green for camouflage. It makes it a little bit easier if you can put this in the trees out behind the house. This right here happens to have terminations at the end, okay? Now, this one right here, it doesn't say what it is except Chameleon antenna, but this is just a connector that goes here, okay? On this one right here, you can connect one part of the antenna here and one part of the antenna here if you want, okay? There's lots of different things that you can do. This one is really designed for up here. Now, the sky loop is this really long one here, okay? And we've got the ends and the various rings. See, these are pretty sturdy rings that you can use to hold it up. Okay, and put a reasonable amount of force on those. Here's an example of a tactical dipole with a terminated end fed, okay? And it tells you the parts and pieces to use. In this case, it's this one right here. Right here, we have our MCON3 portable, which is this antenna right here. This is the matching transformer, okay, right here. And there's some carabiners that hold these things on. They're already connected. You hold the thing up here in the middle, and you can make an inverted V if you like, putting this part down at the bottom. That's one way you can do it. That's an end fed. Here's a MCON3 base with a sloper, okay, or an inverted V. Lots of different ways of doing it. Okay, here is their left's 8010. This is a end fed, okay, coming out this way. And over here, the 4010. This is an 8010, the 4010, and it shows you different parts and pieces that are in this. I don't have everything they've ever made. I've just got lots of it. Linked dipole antenna. This is one where you actually connect in the parts that you need. All right, I don't have the parts and pieces for this one, but they're easy enough to make. These are just right here, little clips. You can use a nut and a bolt with to tighten those together. Some people do these with banana plugs, others do them with little clips. Okay, here's the so-called feather antenna. All right, this is indicative of your radio. All right, and different things that you can do. Lots of ideas in here. An off-center fed 40, which is set up in an inverted V configuration. Very nice. And it gives you some lengths that you want to use. Okay, with a tuner you can get extra bands, but otherwise it's 40, 20, 10, and 6. This is very much like the MFJ 2010, which they don't make anymore. Here's a Skyloop 2.0. Here's your wire. Okay, here's your wire. Here's the Skyloop device here and here for connection. Put your antenna down here. Okay, hold it up right here. And now this is for 80 through 6, so this is a long piece of wire. Okay, worst comes to worst, you can do it half size and get 40 and above. Now, this is a horizontal loop, and on 80 meters it'll transmit pretty much straight up. So it'll make a great NVIS antenna on 80 and 40, and it will work on lots of different bands. Now, when they say with a tuner, they mean it. Okay, ideally, you'd have the tuner located right at the antenna, but you'd need a different brand of tuner to that. Here's a tactical dipole light, okay, and it talks here about the Chameleon TD Light version 2. All right, that'll work actually really well. Here's an NVIS antenna with the matching transformer, and this works in 80 through 6, requires a tuner. All right, and the overhead view, the different parts, the AZ1 and the AZ2, and so on. And then we've finished all the different antennas that they talk about. So the equipment that I have here on the table all over everywhere is designed to construct many, but by no means all, of these antennas. And there are additional pieces that you can get easily enough from Chameleon. It's got some information in here now on tuning a resonant antenna. Okay, and these antennas are designed to be tuned. Okay, and they give you an idea if the resonant frequency is above the desired band. Your antenna is too short, and you can open it. It gives you a little bit of information about the multi-tune coil. You can also get coils like this from Wolf River Coils and other people like that. I would point out that if you get a stainless steel coil, that there is actually a fair amount of resistance in some of those, which will lower the Q, making it easier for you to tune, but you are losing a little bit of power in there. Here's recommendations for different things that you would like to get for your tools and spares, how to do troubleshooting and repair in the field, some nice little charts for troubleshooting and preventive maintenance, and a glossary of some terms here. Okay, and place for notes. And you ought to take notes. One of the notes I would suggest you take, every time you put up one of these antenna, put the date, what antenna you put up, and what your results were. And then right in here, go ahead and put notes as to lengths and things like that. So there you have it. We've looked very carefully through this new book that they've got, this field guide, $12. I mean, geez. The thing is, if you're just going to order it by itself, the shipping and handling is going to be near that. So maybe a few of you can get together and then buy a few, and then that way you won't have to pay the postage for each one. Also, you can get yourself some of the different antennas. You've got an idea of what some of the antennas require. You can just look in here and see the parts and pieces and get those on order to build up whatever kind of a kit that you want that's going to give you the antennas you want to take to the field. Chameleon, the term, of course, refers to a kind of lizard that can assume different colors to blend into the background. And almost everything they have is designed for that type of a environment. So you can get the army green or the black or whatever works best for you. Also, they're all designed to be portable. Now, I just wanted to make one last discussion about the spike. Okay, this spike will handily break an underground sprinkler pipe. So a lot of public parks and so on don't want you putting anything into the ground. You can rig this up to a bucket of cement or something like that, and so that it will hold it up so you don't have to put anything in the ground. Other people, like if you're out in the desert, you will find that you can put anything in the ground you want. There's no infrastructure out there at all. So there you have it. And until we next meet, 73.